Hi everyone, I just got back from my Saturday garage selling and look at all the glass I got. I got some really good deals. I got this pretty purple plate for 50 cents, this iridescent bowl for $1. This was a quarter, 50 cents. This pretty blue dish, which I don't think I'm gonna end up cracking up, it's so pretty. And I don't know, this could be like Murano glass. I got this for $1. I got this for 50 cents. And as I talked about in the other videos, if it's clear at the bottom, it'll tumble clear. The color will come out. This is not. This is blue all the way through, so I'm pretty certain this will be blue. The same with this purple one. I actually got this for a quarter. The guy said, I'm not taking anything back in. I don't know, his stuff was pretty dirty, but a quarter, it'll clean up. This beautiful color blue. I got this for $1. Those two yellow candlesticks I got for a quarter each. This pretty amber ashtray I got for a quarter. I got these two at the same garage sale. I got this real nice frame that I can do some kind of a sea glass design in there. And so all of this here, including the shells. I got the shells, the 3 shells all together for $1, and I'll use those in some of my projects. And if you go to the shell shop, just this starfish shell alone is $9 or $10. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. Anyway, so all of this was $6.25. Do you believe it? Anyway, the other thing that I got at the garage sale was this big mirror. I got it for $5. It doesn't look too pretty now, but I think I'm going to try to do a sea glass. I'm going to paint it, clean it up, paint it, and maybe do sea glass around it in a future video. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about was this iridescent glass. I was going to try to tumble that. I've tumbled something iridescent in the past, and the iridescence has come out even though it did maintain the color. I have this Carnival glass bowl that I got at Goodwill for $3.99 a while ago, and I would never crack this up. I love this. But I did order one on eBay once for about $10 to keep for myself. This was before I ever started tumbling glass, but was thinking about it. And what happened was, when I received it in the mail, it was smashed, the one that looked similar to this, in a million pieces. Anyway, I ended up getting my money back, but that's when I went ahead and bought the tumbler for the first time and tumbled it. And so the reason I know the iridescence comes off, it's just something sprayed over the colored glass, is because I did tumble it. And this is a piece of it. I don't know if you can, how well you can see this, but there's just like a little bit of the iridescence left in the crevices. I'm not sure how close I'm getting to the camera. There you go. And you can see it in the crevices. So that was the one that came in the mail all cracked up. So a Carnival glass bowl is the one that is what made, a cracked up Carnival glass bowl is what made me buy my first tumbler. I had been thinking about tumbling glass before, and I was real interested in it, but that's what made me go ahead and buy one. Anyway, when I did tumble the Carnival glass bowl that was cracked up, I used the regular grit, the coarse grit. So with this one, I'm thinking maybe I'll try sand and see if maybe it'll tumble, but maybe some of the iridescence will stay on it. Anyway, it's worth a try. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is break up the glass. Set that down. This is the iridescent glass that I was talking about. I don't know, this could be Carnival glass. Put it in a little baggie. I usually do this outside in the garage in a big wooden box that my husband had built. but for this small bowl, we can use this. And I cover it for extra protection. You really should be wearing safety goggles. If I was using the big tumbler, you could have larger pieces, but with my small tumbler, you have to use smaller pieces. So this is the first tumbler that I've ever had, that I got, and it is, I'll link the description from Amazon down below. It's Dan and Darcy, it says on it. And this has really been running non-stop for probably a year and a half until I got my larger tumbler, and then I just use this one for special projects. But I actually had 3 small tumblers, and then I bought the large tumbler. So anyway, this holds very little, but it's great for somebody who's just starting. And then you take your little pieces of glass. So you saw the size of that bowl, and I'm thinking that maybe half of it will fit in here. So this tumbler I have not had any problems with at all. It tumbles well, it tumbles within 2 or 3 days, your glass. And I'll do other videos that show that, but for right now, I'm just going to use this. And like I said, normally I use a 35 grit, which is a very coarse grit, and it tumbles stuff much faster. But remember, we're trying to see if we can keep some of the iridescence on this bowl by using just sand. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to check it every 12 hours. So I fill it about 3/4 full. And I'm going to put sand in it, and this sand I got right up at the Dollar Tree for $1, and I'm going to use it in some other projects, resin projects that I do in the future. And I'm just going to start with a tablespoon of it, and then what you do is you fill it with just over the top of the glass with water. This has 2 tops, one that goes on the inside, and you need a little blade to run around the edge to get it in there. And it fits real snug, like that. And then the next one goes on top. And you want to kind of set it on there straight. And then I use a little hammer. Goes on like that. So this tumbler, this is how you turn it on, and the back wheel starts turning, and this side is the number of days that you want it to go for, and this side is how fast. It has 3 different speeds. So I'm going to put it at I'm going to check it in 12 hours. So I'm just going to put, turn it on, put it at 1 day. And I think, well, maybe I'll put it at 2 and see what it looks like in 12 hours and see if it still has some of the iridescence on it or just how it's doing. After 24 hours, I rinsed off all of the glass and dumped it out. The one at the very top is before it was tumbled. The second one was after 8 hours. The third one after 12 hours. And the fourth one on the paper towel was after 24 hours. And it does have a little bit of iridescence left. I decided that that pretty amber glass would make a nice faux sea glass starfish. So this is what I did. I Googled free starfish clip art. And then I hit copy. And then I pasted it into Pages. You could use Microsoft Word or whatever you want. And then I resized it to the size I needed, and I printed out 2. One to put on the back of the glass, and then one to put on the tabletop to set up my sea glass on. I decided to use the frame that I had gotten from the garage sale for the Starfish project, so I had to prepare the frame. What I normally do is take the glass out of the back, clean the glass well, and then use the quick seal caulk around the perimeter of the frame where the glass is going to sit. Then I put the frame back in and I let it dry for 24 hours. No worries if you get a little bit of caulk on the glass, it'll clean up after it's dry with a razor. The next step is to put painter's tape around the perimeter to catch any areas that maybe you have missed with the caulk. It's just an extra precaution so no resin leaks through onto your table. Next, what I did was cut out the starfish and taped it to the back of the glass. Then I started arranging my glass on the starfish that sat on the table. So for this project, I used Total Boat resin. I get it on Amazon. I'll have it linked in the description below. And I find that this is a very low odor resin. Having said that, you still need to wear gloves, wear a mask, and use it in a well-ventilated area. If you're measuring it by volume, it's half of part A with half of part B, the hardener. If you're doing it by weight, it's 1 part to 0.83 parts. And I usually do it by weight. You can do it any way that you want. Stir the resin for 2 to 3 minutes. The slower you stir it, the less bubbles you'll get. Be sure to scrape the sides and the bottom. Next, I poured the resin onto the glass and smoothed it out. I made sure that it got into all of the corners. If for some reason you're done with your project and the resin is dried and you see you've missed a corner, you can still mix up a little bit of resin and pour it in that area and let it dry again for 24 hours and it'll be fine. You should always have rubbing alcohol on hand for cleanup for your hands or if anything gets on the frame. Next, I used the heat gun to blow out the bubbles. I set it to the low setting as far as the amount of pressure that goes out, but on the back, you can set the temperature, and I always set it between 400 and 500 degrees. It can take up to 5 minutes to get rid of all of the bubbles and make it crystal clear. Be careful not to hold the heat gun too close to the resin because it can blow it up over the frame. Next, I moved the faux sea glass to the glass frame, and after I rearranged it multiple times, I took crushed shells and sprinkled them around the perimeter of the glass. And finally, I was done. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this project, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. See you next time.